Hey, what's going on? This is a 3-month update on our Starlink experience in the Better Than Nothing beta. Um, no complaints. I love this thing, but there are a lot of questions about this service, and people are able to pre-order right now by paying $100 or $99, whatever, to pre-order the service. So there's a lot of questions people are asking. So I thought, I'd go through some questions and just kind of answer them from a person who has been using the service for 3 months, and I can tell you what I know. And then I get a lot of questions about my pole mount, how I did that. We'll get to it and share with you some details on that. So here we go. Okay, so Starlink, it's pretty cool. There's actually a satellite map that you can view that shows you these Starlink satellites, and I'm watching that right now. We just had a little downtime, and one of the main things you use when you have Starlink to kind of track what's going on with your service is the Starlink app. You use the app to figure out where to position your satellite or your Dishy first, and then I'm pretty consistently looking at the app because it gives you some neat little data. So it tells you that you're online, with a good connection and everything. And then we can click this guy here and see what's going on. So we've had some beta downtime here. That's what these gray areas are. Usually those are like 2 minutes or less. But yeah, tonight they just have some extra downtime because I think they're rearranging satellites. And well, if you want to look. So here's a bunch of satellites. Look at this big string coming towards us. I'm up in here. That's kind of neat. So I think we just had some satellites that were getting rejiggered. So we had downtime of about 9 minutes. Not bad for us because living in a more rural area that's unserved by anybody else really. You get what you can get, and the service is amazing in that way. We consistently get, well, it's okay. One of the first questions here is, we just got our service order. The fact that you're getting 50 megabytes a second concerns me because most of the videos I've seen are double and triple that speed. I only know what I'm getting. I think sometimes there's ways to make your speeds look faster than they are. I know that from having Comcast in the past. They always pretended that I was getting 100 or 150 megs. I wasn't getting that speed. They were doing a speed boost at the start, so you thought you were getting good speed, and then slowing our way down. From what I've seen with Starlink, is you get these really consistent speeds. So I don't think there's a concern. 50 megs a second is enough for like 4 of us to stream in HD. So I don't know what else you want to do with this service, but that's really fast. Like, it's great in a rural area. What I have noticed too is even if we have like 3 streams going, or we're gaming and using phones, is that the speed doesn't really seem to slow down. It seems to actually speed up. So I can always get 50 megs on whatever platform I'm using overall. Now there are some exceptions to that. I think that it uses a little bit of AI to figure out when to push the speed to us and when to not. Because like when I wake up in the morning, if I get up a little early and I jump on to check YouTube or I don't use Facebook, but whatever, my emails, or just look at the news, the speeds are a little slower, and then I open up the app and it's like, oh hey, here's all your speed. So I think it tries to learn your patterns of use. I know my dad said when he's been up at like 3 or 4 in the morning sometimes, getting ready to go to work or gaming or whatever, that he would see some downtime for a couple minutes. But if it was at a time that he wasn't usually using it ever, or we weren't, of course, because we're asleep, I think the system kind of slows down or goes to an idle, and I think the normal idle speed's around 50 megs. That's a really long answer to that question, but whatever. That's what we're seeing. How do I get the service? Go to starlink.com. They're supposed to be taking pre-orders. I did have a friend who doesn't live too far from here. They wouldn't take her pre-order. I don't know why, but I think they're really trying to not take on more than they can chew. but also bring in enough money to, keep things launching into space, because they're still launching more satellites. Somebody asked if we get our cell phone service through that setup. I kind of do. I don't have real good cell phone service here, so on my phone there's a setting where I can do Wi-Fi calling, so that's how I make my calls, is over Wi-Fi. So I kind of do, but no, I have my own separate cell service. I don't think they can do cell service via satellite because of the lag. And the lag, also, people have been like, oh, we're going to have a lot of lag. There's one of those in here. Oh, you're going to have so much lag. Dude, my lag's like 20 to 40. I don't know how the math works on that, but it's like 20 to 40 milliseconds. There's no lag on this thing. It's fine. Anyway, so I don't think you can make calls, but I don't know how the science works on that. But I do use the Wi-Fi to call, so I guess it works. I don't know. Elon, let's make this a cell phone service too. I'd use it. So how do I get it? Yeah, just go to starlink.com. What else we got here? We got a lot of questions about the pipe mount that I used. A lot of them were predictions about what happened to my pipe mount. People said it wasn't any good. We're going to get to that. I will surprise you. What's the inside diameter of the pipe mount? A lot of people are going to do their own pipe mount for the Dishy, because the dish, when it comes, there's a tripod it comes with, so you can put it on the ground. But most people want to mount it somewhere, of course. So there's a couple of mounts you can order, and we'll get to that. But the one I used was the pipe mount. If you haven't seen that, go look at my video on the pipe mount. I'll link it at the end of this video. The pipe mount, I think, will accommodate like 3 or 4 inch pipe. So you can use a really tall pole to mount that dish to get away from obstructions and have something sturdy so it's not bouncing around in the wind. How many devices can you use at the same time? Somebody asked me that. Starlink actually says you can use 100 devices linked to their Wi-Fi router at the same time. How long did it take me to get my kit? My kit was here in 2 weeks. I think it was 2 weeks or less. We got the invitation to sign up, and it said you have 2 weeks to sign up. I was like, 2 weeks, dude? Give me 2 minutes. We went online. I paid $400 for my setup kit. I paid like $50 for the pole mount kit. I also bought the volcano mount, which is what goes on the peak of your roof, and then you hold it down with bricks or sandbags. We ordered that too to check it out. We opted to use the pole mount, but it took like 2 weeks to get here. They said it would take a month. I think it took like a week and 4 days, actually. It was fast. Great speed, but how much does it cost? We're paying $100 a month. I think they're going to keep doing that. Somebody asked if when I was installing my pipe mount, which again, check that video out. I'm an incredible architect and built a great pipe mount for the Dishy. Is there a reason why you didn't go with the roof ridge saddle? I don't like climbing roofs because I'm afraid of heights. So this is something I can get to on a ladder, and I felt like the ridge mount just being held on with bricks or sandbags. We do get high winds here. I thought it could knock the dish over in theory. So at least if I had it on a mount that was close to the ground, if it fell, it might not shatter. Or, if I needed to adjust it, I could get to it in inclement weather. There was a video of a guy who had his on the roof. Snow piled up, got on the dish. It melted, turned into ice, and broke the dish. We don't get a ton of snow here, but I don't want to deal with it being on the roof. I was like, I can put it on my back porch, and it points to the sky, and I get internet. It's easy, and if I need to fiddle with it, I can. What are the monthly limits on data? Right now, 0. I think they plan on keeping that to 0. That's kind of their business model, 0 monthly limits on the data, which is great because, again, Comcast, whom I'm not a fan of, was always messing with us and throttling us, and it was just stupid. Like, it didn't cost them that much for us to use data. They were just gouging people because they could, because they were the only game in town where I was at last. So I'm glad that they can go take a long walk off a short pier now, and there's new competition in town that anybody can get. I think competition's great. What's the outside diameter of the tube section that comes out of the Starlink dish? The tube that comes out of the bottom of the dish is about 2 inches. And then how do I get the pole mount? How do I get the Starlink kit? How do I, buy all this stuff? My understanding is, if if you're not in the better than nothing beta, which was limited to like 10,000, you know, they'll let you go on the website, give them a $99 deposit, which says, hey, I want this service when it's available. Once it is, if they do for you what they did for me, they will send you a link to set up an account. You go into your account and then you start buying stuff. So you can buy mounts. You've got to buy the starter kit for, like, we paid $400 or $500. I don't know what that's going to be in the future. You give them your credit card number to charge you your monthly fee, and then they also give you options right now for like things that like cover up the holes you make on your wall if you don't have that kind of stuff available, because the wires have to go from outside to inside. So that's what happens there. So let's talk about the most important things. Number one, people kept telling me, oh bro, using that pipe mount, you're going to get high winds. That pole's going to blow over. It did not blow over at all. I had 60 mile per hour gusts here. The dish is actually very aerodynamic. I was standing out there during these big wind gusts and it didn't even move. I think that's because of how it's shaped. It's never going to point straight and have wind blow against it. It's going to be pointed at the sky mostly. So ours sits at an angle like this all the time. So if there's wind, I guess wind could blow here, but it's not going to blow against it firmly. And wind is never going to blow hard enough that a pole that's a 3/4 of an inch around, iron pipe that's 3/4 of an inch around, is going to get pushed around by it. That's just not how wind works. Anyway, long story short, I'm a genius. The pole mount worked great the way I did it. I didn't need to weld it. I didn't need to tape it. I didn't need to glue it. I didn't need extra supports. Just check it out. I'm a genius. Then the most important question. Where can I get those soothing wind chimes? There's a huge response on my pole mount video about wind chimes. Those are actually not wind chimes. Those are Corinthian bells. They are the most soothing of the wind instruments, I believe. My wife got me that set. It is in the key of A. I'm glad that every single person who watched our video loved it. I'll probably play some wind chimes during this one because I know everybody likes the sound of them. There was not a single person who hated it. So again, after you mounted the pipe with the 4x4, you added one more turn to the elbow before adding the antenna to the end. How long did it take for gravity in the wind to undo that half of the turn? Well, the thing's still up there. Why would you doubt me? Look at me. I'm obviously a man's man who knows what he's doing. I got Corinthian bells to soothe my soul on the back porch on a daily basis, bro. Don't doubt my abilities to put up iron pipe to hold up a little dish. I got this. All right, guys. Hey, I almost forgot. Do you want a speed test update? Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to use fast.com. The reason I use fast is because this simulates watching a Netflix movie, and you can change the settings. There you go. Show more info. Let's do it. Latency, 32 milliseconds, super fast. Well, 39, I'm sorry. Speed's going to be about 20 megabytes up after it chills out, but whatever, that's boring. So, 3-month in, speed test update. Dad's downstairs playing a video game with some friends, and I think he's using the Discord server, so he is using some bandwidth. So, there's our speed update. Now we'll see you later. And thanks so much for hanging out with me.